In this tutorial, I would like to show how to export your final project for various formats. These formats can be either to upload your final project to YouTube or any other internet resource, burning it to a DVD, compressing it to an iPhone or an iPod, or any other format such as that. As you can see, I have a final project already done and ready to be compressed. The first way I would like to show you how to format and export your project is one of the simplest ways. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using Final Cut Pro and QuickTime. Now, a lot of you who don't have Final Cut Pro, this should still be the same if you're using either iMovie, Avid, Sony Vegas, or Adobe Premiere. One of the simplest ways to export your final project in Final Cut is this. Go to your top menu bar, click File, go down to Export, and click QuickTime Movie. It brings up another dialog box. In this box, you navigate to where you would like to save your file once compressed, and also you can select the settings for either audio and video or both. So navigate to where you want to, type in a title, and click Save. Immediately it starts compressing your project. Alright, so once it's done formatting, what I want you to do is to open QuickTime. Once opening QuickTime, I would like you to navigate to your file and open it. Now that you have your file open, you can see that it's a perfect replication of what your file was in Final Cut Pro or whatever your nonlinear editing program was. And here's the next step to give you more options of how to compress and format your project. Now that we have it in a .mov file, use QuickTime, go to the top menu, click File, Export, and you'll notice right below Export is Export for Web, which I'll dive into in a second. Once you click Export, another dialog box comes up. What I'd like to bring your attention to is the dialog box towards the bottom. It says Export. If you click on the tab to open that file up, you'll notice a whole other list of formats that you can compress it to. Such file formats can be 3G, which is for phones, Apple TV, which is a .m4v, AVI, MPEG-4, or another form of QuickTime Movie, or AIFF for audio. This way you can pick whichever one you would like to use and then compress it again. Now, some loss of quality will happen, but not a lot. To give you an example, let's do this to another QuickTime Movie. Select your destination again and click Save. Automatically it starts exporting. The other way of compressing your file is the way I was just talking about. Please go to the File menu up top, click File, Export for Web, and another dialog box comes up. First and foremost, you can title whatever your project is. Then you want to click the destination. We'll choose the desktop for this. Under it, you have export versions. You can either export it for the iPhone, iPhone Cellular, or to the desktop, which is an easy and more manageable format. Once done selecting your options, hit Export, and it'll automatically start exporting your project. Another option for exporting your final project from Final Cut is this. Please go to File and Export. Once clicking Export, another menu system pops up, and here are a bunch of different ways that you can export your project. You can either do it in the QuickTime Movie, which we have just described. You can do it using Compressor, QuickTime Conversion. You can also send this to Soundtrack Pro or LiveType, which are accompanying programs for the Final Cut Studio. Or you can do it for audio or the different cinema tools. For this, I'm going to show you the compressor. So once Compressor opens, you have two different options you need to choose from. Both need to be completed before you can export your project into a different format. The first being Settings. This is where you're actually going to pick which type of format you would like for your final project to be in. And they give you a lot of different variations. For this demonstration, I'm going to use H.264 for Apple TV. Once selecting the format out of the list of options, click it once with the mouse and hold your mouse down, and then drag it up into your project file, and then letting go. Once let go, you can see that it automatically puts the format on your project. Your next step is selecting the destination by clicking the Destination tab. Here you can either create a custom destination, which could be your project file or the desktop of your computer, or you can pick from 4 pre-designated Apple sources. After selecting the destination, all you need to do is click and hold it and drag it up into your project folder. Please make sure you drop it right on top of the actual format that you picked earlier. After letting go, you'll see that it pops up in the second bar on your project file. Mine says Desktop. Your last and final step is to click the Submit button on the bottom right-hand corner of the project file. By clicking it, another dialog box comes up. You can just hit Submit on that as well. Once done, if you look into the history box, which is located on the bottom right-hand corner of the compressor screen, you can twirl down your project file and see it actually compressing in real time. I hope you have found this tutorial helpful in the ways of exporting your project from nonlinear editing systems. Please keep in mind that I used Final Cut Pro and an Apple QuickTime. If you do not have these programs, please refer to your user manuals of your nonlinear editing system to see the proper ways of exporting your project.